and welcome back to my dogging lay-by of car reviews, where I've just run over a giant bag of dog poo, which smells quite a lot, so this might be a little bit rushed so I don't catch diseases. Now, the car I'm reviewing this week is the Mercedes-AMG A45 S. Now, you might remember the original A45 AMG came out in 2013, and it was a bit like pop group S Club 7 because 85% of it was, not great. The 15%, the Rachel Stevens, that was the engine, which was fantastic. So I think AMG engineers were pretty gutted when they got some fairly lukewarm reviews when they'd managed to extract 355 horsepower from a 2-litre engine, which is still crazy. So hopefully this new car is more like One Direction. At least that's what the young people in the office say is a good analogy for something that has good components all round. Maybe if you put Harry Styles and Niall, is he a person? It's a river, isn't it? Apparently if you put Harry and Niall together, they are all good, and that makes something that might all be good, like this car. You get the picture. I've tortured the analogy. Can we get on with it? It's quite sunny, and there's so much poo behind me. Now, we may as well start at the heart of the Mercedes-AMG A45. Now, this is the top spec S version, which means this 2-litre engine with 4 cylinders has 421 horsepower. 421! So that is more than the first Pagani Zonda, the Ferrari 360, early Countach's, the BMW E39 M5. It's 1 more horsepower than the original Audi R8 and the Porsche 911 Turbo, the 996 gen. It's ridiculous. And don't go thinking that it's just a tuned up version of the baby A35 car, because it's a similar engine, but it's turned around an entire 180 degrees, so turbos and stuff are at the back and intake and stuff's at the front for better cooling and more powerness. Yeah, I know we were seeing kind of 400 horsepower from 2-litre engines in the kind of noughties with the Mitsubishi Evos, but they needed rebuilding every other day. This is just a normal engine. Oh yes, and it's hand built like all AMG engines, so thank you to Squiggle. Now, quickly, just before we go and drive it, I just want to comment on the spoiler, which is massive, looks ridiculous. Likewise, the rear diffuser, which has holes in it, and I think it's a real thing. And the massive exhaust pipes, yeah, it all looks stupid, but once you've driven it, it makes sense. Spoiler alert, I'm probably going to say the word rally and car quite a lot in the next 5 minutes. Try and stay awake, please. Anyway, I probably look white as a ghost because the sun's just come out, and this looks absolutely filthy because I've not bothered to wash it and expense washing it. Anyway, can you drive it and stop talking? But just take this in for a second. Right, okay, driving. Hello everyone, welcome to the inside of the Mercedes-AMG A45 space S. There's probably another space in there that I've forgotten about. Okay, so I've been driving this car for about a week. I'm about to give you a little impression of that. Important thing, stick it in Sport Plus mode for reasons that will become clear. You can stick it in comfort mode and it's a perfectly good cruiser, but I think you're interested in the sporty side of this car. Now, this is a junction. I'm going to pull out safely. I'm actually going to put out safely because there's a Supra. Whee! Pop! What's it like to drive then? That is mental. It is absolutely batshit mental. 0 to 60 takes 3.9 seconds and it will go on to 168 miles an hour, which is actually 1 mile an hour less than the Honda Civic Type R with 100 horsepower less, but you know, whatever. Aerodynamics, who's going to do that speed? What matters is how you rip through the 8 short gears of this car really, really quickly. It feels absolutely furious. But I don't want to talk all about the speed. We know it's going to be fast. It's an AMG and it's got 421 horsepower. What I really, really wasn't expecting is how alive it feels, like a Frankenstein's monster thing. Not Frankenstein himself, because he was the magic doctor man. Anyway, I'm talking absolute nonsense. What I'm trying to say is that this car feels so much more interesting to drive around corners than the old car, which just felt a little bit inert and a bit like, dare I say it, an Audi RS3. No, this car has got some very clever stuff going on. It's got 2 clutches on the back axle to enable it to do little skids, and it's got a drift mode, which I'm not going to show you because I value my job and my license. No, this car just darts into corners with slightly too quick steering for my tastes, but you get used to it. It's just what happens when you trail brake. You know, I set a benchmark of the Fiesta ST as the most fun hot hatch to drive purely because the mechanics of it all come together to do silly things like go around corners a bit sideways. This does all of that. It does little lift off oversteer like a Fiesta. And I can't see up this junction. Yes, let's just go. Whee! This is a small car that feels as fast out there as the RS6 I drove the other week. Calm down, Timothy. Calm down. So what you get is a car that is willing to rotate slightly, come into a roundabout or a corner and get on the brakes a bit harder as you go into the corner, and the back wheel step out, like in a Fiesta ST, except unlike a Fiesta ST, you've got 4-wheel drive and over 400 horsepower to haul you out the other side. It's hugely entertaining. I'm currently stuck behind a new Toyota Supra, weirdly, the only one of those I've seen which isn't a press car. I think this is probably more fun, certainly safer. This is 4-wheel drive, obviously, and that means that you've always got that safety net which encourages you to stick it in the mode like Sport Plus, where the stability control is slackened off, and have a bit of a dick around. It's encouraging. It's always there for you. It says, don't worry, I have your back. But probably without the same German accent I just did. The first time I got to a roundabout in this car when I collected it from Milton Keynes last week, and there are lots of roundabouts in Milton Keynes, I burst out laughing. Didn't expect it to step out, and also over crests and corners you feel a little bit of power oversteer, which, you know, people like Ford have tried to give you that sensation in the Focus RS, but it's always been a bit forced. This feels really natural in the way it changes angle in a corner and the way you can adjust the attitude of the car on the throttle. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying those words. But there's no other way to explain how entertaining the A45 S is. It is an absolute nut job. Right, let's go. It's also devastatingly efficient when you want it to be. You can customize all the modes and you can set an individual one, and they're all changed using this little dial here. It's very easy to do. You can just keep your eyes on the road. The brakes are as good as they need to be. They've not wilted in road use. How fast do you have to be driving to do that, you lunatic? Anyway, enough about the driving for the moment. I'm just going to give you a quick tour of the interior. Try and stay awake. We'll be back in a minute. It's way nicer than an Audi RS3 in here. You might say it's a little bit chintzy with all the silver plastics and purple lighting. You can change the colour of the lighting though, which is quite cool. And the light strip on the door, that flashes red if it thinks you're going to open the door into someone. I nearly killed, I don't know, I think it was a duck or something over there. I went to open the door and a duck was walking past and the car beeped and that light strip flashed red at me to say, don't kill the duck. There we go, safety. This is Alcantara, it feels very nice. It all just feels very premium. The infotainment's really cool. It's got augmented reality, so when you've got your sat-nav in there, it uses the camera on the front of the car to project, well, it projects that image onto here basically, so you can see what the camera's seeing, but it overlays your directions on the real view. It's magic, it's the future, it's really cool. It's worth noting this is a press car and it's only got one option on it, which is the paint for £695. Everything else is standard, and you'd kind of hope so for 56 grand, but you get the nice Burmester stereo and all the nice metal feeling bits, the Alcantara wheel, the flat bottom wheel, the seats which do a weird kind of massage thing, but not really a massage thing, it just moves around a bit. Yeah, it's all very good. You don't get surgical gloves. I did say this is a dogging spot, didn't I? It was for a coronavirus thing, isn't it? Yeah, no, very nice in here. Back to you, Tim, if you're driving it. I'm so sweaty, I'm sorry. Bye. What can I criticize about this? The gearbox is very eager. It's an 8-speed dual clutch. When you're pulling away from a roundabout, it doesn't hesitate, it does the opposite. It kind of just goes a bit faster than you were predicting, which you get used to. It is firm, it's not stupidly firm, and it's got adaptive dampers, so put it in comfort and it does get a lot better, but it's still not exactly cushiony. It's got customizable driving modes, the display's very clear, very good. It's got the latest Mercedes infotainment screens here and there, so you can have pretty much whatever you want, wherever you want it. I won't bore you with the details, but I've got it set up to show me my average MPG since I started, which is 15. Yes. The fuel economy of this car is not fantastic. It's probably about the same as a V8 when you drive it hard. But you know, what were you expecting from such a turbocharged engine, right? Let's see if we can get to move around a bit here. Woo! Yeah. Don't go thinking that this is just another turbocharged four-wheel drive nutmobile that you can just get used to instantly. This is going to be a kind of car that you peel back layers of over time like a fine onion. Do you do that with onions? Do you keep an onion in your car and peel a bit off every time you drive it? Bollocks, do you? What a load of rot, but you get what I mean. It's the way when you get on the power early in a corner, the torque vectoring just hoiks you round. It's an addictive feeling. Could possibly do with a bit more sensation of how much grip you've got at the front, but that's just, you know, like all modern cars with electronic power steering, you are slightly robbed of that feel. But again, compared to what's on sale, this is mind-blowingly good. It does feel like a proper AMG should. The old one didn't, this one does. I can't think of a car that's improved so much one generation to the next than this. Very good thing, thumbs up. Right. Tim, do an outro. So, does the new Mercedes-AMG A45 S live up to the AMG name like the old one didn't? Yes, yes it does. It's very good. It's ferociously fast, but we finally got that AMG chassis naughtiness that all their rear-wheel drive cars are known for. It does little skids. It makes you feel really, really involved in the process. It feels bombastically fast, and it sounds brilliant for a 4-cylinder engine. It's like the craziest hot hatch you could imagine, with everything turned up to 11. The downsides? It's quite expensive at £56,000, and it drinks fuel like a V8. I've been getting 25 mpg, but yeah, an all-weather rally weapon for the road is the most cliched thing I'm ever gonna say, but fuck it, it's true. Thank you for watching. Please like, even if you've not really liked it, please subscribe and click the bell notification to be told when I've come back to my lay-by of dog poo. Thank you for watching. I've been Tim. Goodbye.